You need to remember this day. And 008006, State versus John Anthony Cruz. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Charles Bunt for Mr. Cruz.
And are you Mr. Cruz?
No.
All right, you entered a plea of guilty to count 2. You applied for probation. There was a PSI and TAP evaluation completed. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI and TAP evaluation?
Yes. Yes, Judge.
Any objections from either side? The state is opposed to your application for probation. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison, and there's a $1,500 fine. All right, this is what I can tell both parties. State, I understand why you would be opposed to his application. I reviewed his criminal history. The cases where he's done poorly on probation was a misdemeanor case, according to the PSI report. It appears.
Okay, pause right here. This is where things get very real. The judge has reviewed the criminal history and is basically saying, I get why the state doesn't trust this guy, but I also see the addiction problem underneath the crime. And legally, that matters. This isn't an intent to deal case, it's possession, which shifts the court's focus from punishment to rehabilitation. But make no mistake, this is the courtroom version of standing at a cliff's edge. One direction, prison. The other, one last shot. Question is, what would you choose if the judge handed you this deal?
Related to a possession with intent to deliver, we'd be maybe somewhere else on what my thoughts were. So if there's anything that anyone wants to add, I'm going to give him a choice. Here's your choice. And there are no other choices, so don't ask for anything else. Number 1, I'll grant your application for probation. The state wanted your punishment to be assessed, so I would find you guilty and sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. You'll be going to safety. You will not be released. I would follow the TAP recommendations, or I'll sentence you to 6 years in the prison. Those are your only 2 choices. And state, the reason why I'm doing this, it's obvious that he has a drug issue. And if we keep...
Listen carefully, because this next moment is basically a legal ultimatum. Judges rarely make it this crystal clear. Here are your choices. Pick one. No bargaining, no dramatic speeches, no secret third option. 10 years suspended with strict probation and treatment, or 6 years behind bars. This is the kind of moment where one sentence changes the next decade of your life.
All right, you're Mr. Cruz?
John Anthony Cruz.
All right, what have you decided?
No probation. Judge, he wants probation. He's, as you can tell from the PSI, he's begging for help. He's very thankful that you're giving this opportunity, and he wants to take advantage of it. It's nice. And just so you'll know, he does have family present in the court who are supporting him in his endeavors as well.
Okay. All right, state, you may be excused. This is what the court will do. The court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years, $1,500 fine.
Listen carefully, because this next moment is basically a legal ultimatum. Judges rarely make it this crystal clear. Here are your choices. Pick one. No bargaining, no dramatic speeches, no secret third option. 10 years suspended with strict probation and treatment, or 6 years behind bars. This is the kind of moment where one sentence changes the next decade of your life.
And that's remain in custody for transfer. Just 1 second. And it's for a transfer to safety. And Ms. Abrams?
Yes, Judge.
If you could also do a referral to felony drug court. I know they're full, but maybe You know, after the new year, they'll have room. And there's a restitution amount. I believe it was $120. Yeah, there's to be restitution of $120 to SAPD for drug testing, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. There's to be 350 hours of community service restitution. There's a deduction of 1 hour for every sober support meeting completed. And I am going to order sober support meetings 1 time per week until further notice. And you're going to have to make sure that you get a sponsor to help you. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. It appears that you've been using drugs for a very long time. So it's going to be extra hard on you. You need to remember this day and remember that you were this close to going to prison for 10 years. And you need to start making decisions. I always tell people, and what I've learned from taking courses is that you have to want to be clean for yourself. But if you don't feel like you're worthy of being clean for yourself, then you need to do it for your family members, because otherwise only 1 or 2 things going to end up happening to you. You're going to come back as a habitual offender. Your minimum is going to be 25. You may not have this attorney. You may not have these prosecutors. You may not have me as a judge. And you may end up spending.
Listen carefully, because, and here comes the speech, the one every courtroom watcher knows means the judge is trying to make something stick emotionally. But beneath the tough love delivery is a serious legal warning: habitual offender status. Translation: if he comes back with more felony convictions, sentencing gets brutally harsher. This isn't just a pep talk. It's the judge saying you are dangerously close to running out of chances.
Come back here